people may say that you can't take money to the grave, which is true, you can't. But what you can take is the memories that money allows you to create. Money allows time and it allows choice. And there are two things that are absolutely invaluable when you have a family. So I've always been really interested in money. I wanted to share with you a few of the lessons that I've learned over my years, because I always knew that money was, a really important part of being able to A, step into your potential, and B, live the life that I knew I would want to live when I had a family. So while I was at uni, actually way before uni, when I was about 16, I started saving for a house. And when I went to uni, obviously things were fairly tough living in the city. I moved from Tamworth to Sydney, and I was completely independent. I paid for my rent, my bills, my food, everything. The very cheap wine that I drink on a Friday night, all of it. And I earned about $500 a week between the 2 or 3 jobs. And I was studying full time as well. And my rent was $250 a week. My bills were $50 a week. And then I probably spent about $50 a week on food. So I was left with $150 to live off. So, to pay my phone bill or my going out to dinner or transport, that sort of thing, with $150. I still, every single week, saved $50 a week. I prioritized saving because I knew that when the time came, I would want to buy a house. And I was planning on doing so by the time I was 21. That was my intention. So I started seeing this guy. His name is Victor Zalams. He's now my husband. And I remember when we were seeing each other, he stayed at my place in Surrey Hills. It was this very old terrace house. And on my bedside table, I had a property magazine. And at the time, we kind of joked about the fact that I was going to be like a property maven in the future and own these houses and whatever. And I don't think he really took me seriously. And then, 6 months down the track, we're starting to get serious and talk about moving in together and that sort of thing. And I said to him, well, I am actually saving for a house. So I'll buy in Tamworth, which was my plan. It's a bit more affordable there. I'll buy by myself in Tamworth, or if you'd like to buy together, we can save together and buy an apartment in Sydney. So long story short, we saved and we worked really hard, and we went 50-50 on a place in a apartment in the inner west in Sydney, which we still own now. And we bought it a month before I turned 22. So I just scraped in on my intention to buy my first property when I was 21. And I did that by living within my needs, not my means. I was a uni student. I had a 1-year gap between first and second year because I had to earn money to then get Centrelink to help me with my studies. But most of the time, saving for the house, I was a student either at high school or at university. But when you have an intention and you know how to live within your needs and not your means, you can save for anything and you can do anything. So that was my first lesson from The Richest Man in Babylon. It's such a great book. The second lesson was spending money on where your priority is. So think of it this way. Every time you spend $1, you are voting with your money. I feel we vote with our money in terms of ethics and sustainability and the brands that you support, but we also vote and telling our subconscious where our priorities are and what's important to us. So right now, I'm on a diet that obviously is fairly crazy and fairly expensive. I can only eat organic. I can't eat anything packaged. So if I want something as simple as chia seeds, I have to go down to a bulk whole food store, bring a paper bag with me and put it in paper because I can't have plastic. I can't have anything in like a tin. So I bought chickpeas today from a bulk place to make hummus. I have to be really careful with what I eat. All of the lifestyle changes I've made, all of the food that I'm eating, it all adds up, right? Like it's expensive, but that's my priority right now. My priority is my health and sorting that out. It's not buying clothes. It's not I probably buy a couple of things each season, nothing more than that, maybe one a season, and I invest in them to last. And my husband will be the first person to vouch for this. I didn't used to. I used to just buy crappy things, which, don't last that long. But A, it's bad for the environment. But B, you're also putting out basically a bad energy saying like, I'm not going to have this for long. I know it's crappy. So now I invest my money wisely when I do spend it on clothes, but it's not my priority right now. My priority is my health. So that's what I vote my money on. So make sure you know what your priority is in the season that you're in life. And that's where your money should be focused on. Your money might be focused on going out and meeting new people because you just moved to a new area, and there's nothing wrong with that. You choose what your priority is and spend your time, money, and effort on that priority. So that's my second lesson. My third one is how you speak to money and how you use it. So are you hoarding money? Are you so scared to spend it that you just hoard money and it just, you can't even bear to buy any luxuries or, even put your money towards your priority? Or are you spending it so willy-nilly that you don't even know what you spend on? You just spend like your whole pay goes every month and you just don't even know what you're spending it on. People that are wealthy and have money and have time, freedom, and choice and all the things that come along with money know where their money goes. They know what the super contributions are. They know what the repayments are and the bills and what all of the outgoings are and then what comes in every month. And they know their money, and it's not because they're tight or they're really stingy. It's actually just because they respect money and they've got a good money mindset. And what comes with that is respecting money. And even when things come up, like you might have a really expensive phone bill or a really expensive gas bill or electricity bill, you go, you know what, that's expensive, but I'm really grateful for what that money has given me. I'm really grateful that we had gas and the house was really nice and warm this winter. Or I'm really grateful that I have the money to be able to provide my family with organic produce so that they too can be as healthy as what I am. It's really having a respect for money and not giving it more love and attention than what it needs, but just being grateful for it and being grateful for its presence. And then my last, lesson is thinking about the future, because it's so easy and it's actually quite fun to like just burn money in the moment. And, most of you guys on here are probably around my age, between 25, 35, maybe 40. And, the future seems like it's far away, but it's really not. Like, what you do now is investing into your future 5 to 10 years away, and that is going to creep the hell up on us. So, buying that property when I was 21, nearly 22, and Vic was a little bit older, that helped us to buy our first house because of the equity. And then we spent 2 years building our deposit, and we lived with Vic's amazing parents for 6 months. If you're watching this, we so appreciate you, to help build up our deposit for our house. And what we started doing 3 years before even buying our house led us to January of this year of purchasing our family home. So, think about your future and think about your goals, because what you're doing right now in this moment is impacting it. So what I did 12 months ago, starting an online business as in addition to working, has now led me to the moment where I am now of doing this business full time. But I don't say to people I'm retired. I don't, say, oh, I've left my job and now I just do nothing. Like, I'm still working really hard because I know that the income I'm making from my business is going to help us in 5 to 10 years time. I have a long-term goal, and with money, that's the best way to look at things, is long-term. And, if you're thinking that you might not have money to put away right now because, everything is gone, paycheck to paycheck, I would say to you, Well, that might be the case, but are you prioritizing what you're spending money on, and are you looking at your future? Because if you were sick and you couldn't work, or say you were retired and you were relying on the government, or even if you lost your job and you had to rely on the government for a while, do you have enough money to actually support you when when your wage is taken away from you? And if not, then what makes you think that you could, not afford to actually start saving and putting money away if you don't have the money to do it now while you do have a wage coming in? So it's something to consider. These are all really important lessons that I've learned. I hope you guys get some value from it. Would love to hear below any comments or your own experiences. Like, what are your lessons? What have you learned about money? And would love to, hear from you guys. Please feel free to like, comment, share. Would love to get some eyeballs on this, especially from women, because I'm really passionate about women being able to have an independent income, make their own money, and step into their power.